online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, doggone it. They called me out. Welcome into the show.
Like getting called out by the Chris Brooks show.
I'm telling you, they flat out just called me out, and I didn't even. None of this is my doing. Allow me to explain. Welcome into the show on this Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, everybody. I used to have the Hump Day song, and I think I kind of wore it out. Somebody maybe even came in here and moved it on my soundboard. I don't even know where it is anymore. I used to have the Hump Day song, Humpty Dance. So anyway, I'll forgo that. Welcome in on a Wednesday. What up? Glad to be with you all. We got a long show and a good show, and there's lots to get into today, but I'm kind of going to put the show in your lap, whatever you want to talk about. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio. Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team. At Farm Bureau Insurance, your local hometown heroes are your local Farm Bureau Insurance agents. Because you have that fender bender at midnight, and you know who to call, and you know who to text, and you know where they live. And it's great when it's local, let me tell you, when an issue arises. So I can't recommend them highly enough. All right, so thanks for being in here, and there's lots of ways for you to be a part of the show. I hope that you will be. I hope you choose to be today a part of the show. You can text me, call me, comment on the live stream, all of that. So feel free to hit me up. If you're on the live stream, hey to you, drop me a comment, YouTube, Facebook. What up? Looks like the stream is off and running here on this Wednesday. The text line, if you need the number, there it is, 885-ESPN or 885-3776. Or call me on the Davini phone, Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer, the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S., in fact. They've been doing it better longer than anybody else right here at Davini. Call me on the Davini phone, 995-1059, 601-995-1059. All I did, Bill, was at, let's see here. When did I tweet it? I tweeted 3 hours ago. All I tweeted, this is exactly what the tweet said, based on some information I'd gotten a hold of. It said, some exciting news expected today in Mississippi on the high school football front. That's all it said. Well, between that tweet 3 hours ago, okay, and, Chris's show, he and Beaver just called me out saying, hey, well, Matt's got breaking news. And then Beaver goes, oh, yeah, it's breaking news, and it better be good. I mean, I didn't say, first of all, I said exciting news. I didn't say anything like, hey, y'all, tune in later. I'm going to have breaking news. Now, I expected it to break, and guess what? The news has broken. I have it right here in front of me. And then, Beaver's sitting there going, hey, Chris Brooks is the high school guy. Y'all leave it to him. What am I saying? So should I have, when I got this info, should I have called, since it dealt with high school football, should I have called Chris, given him the info?
No.
See, I'm like Chris. Chris and I are alike in that neither of us really have a whole lot of interest in going out and chasing breaking news. But if we get the info from people we talk to or know, or friends or acquaintances, then we'll bring it to the show, right? That's the way it should work. Well, that's the way this works. So let me just say, I didn't say I had breaking news. I said there was some exciting news coming. I didn't know where it was going to come from. Now, as it turns out, I actually have this in front of me. Okay? I got it right here. And let's see what else. Bill, I don't have in my possession like a breaking news sound bed. We could do like the people out on the front lawn on Christmas vacation when Clark was trying to get the lights to come on and he got the family to do an audible drum roll, and they were all
here.
And the news is you're going to have, excuse me, I'm getting choked. This is apropos, by the way. I'm getting choked up like Chris did the other day on the show. I got some dust in my throat. No, here's the news. ESPN is doing the broadcasting on ESPN, the high school football kickoff. It's returning for a 12th year. It's going to be from August the 26th to August 29th. And Bill, get this. One of those games on ESPN in the high school kickoff is going to include a team, a very good team, from right here. Put it on your calendar.
And I bet I know which game it is, too.
Put it on your calendar. Saturday, August the 28th. Madison Ridgeland Academy, MRA,
Right.
is going to host Oakland, Tennessee.
Good team from Tennessee.
Yeah, they've won some state championships, in fact.
We'll be hearing that game right here on this station, too.
You will hear that game right here with our man Ross broadcasting that sucker, won't he? That'll be great. I cannot wait. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of an information as to why I can't wait. Okay, 3 o'clock Central Time on ESPN2 on August the 28th, live from MRA right here in Ridgeland, Mississippi. All right, Oakland, Tennessee is coming off a 15-0 state championship season. No signs of slowing down. The press release says their offensive firepower comes from senior running back Jordan James, a Georgia commit. Now, kind of side note, you have a local kid just committed to Georgia who's a running back also. They have a senior receiver named Isaiah Horton who's really good. And they got a kid that plays several different positions named Robbie Washington. All three of those guys are ranked. What they say in the release about MRA, also undefeated last season, got its second straight state championship. They listed it in the press release as 6A, but obviously playing in private school, so it's not 6A public school, it's a little different. And of course they list Stone Blanton kind of as the leader of the team, a linebacker there for MRA. But that is a really neat deal that you're going to have. You've had these for years, and I watch them every year. It seems like there for 2-3 years, every year they would put Hoover in there playing somebody. One year we even got South Panola opening the season on that Saturday midday game at Hoover. And I think Hoover won that ball game. Last year you had some cool matchups that were televised by ESPN to start the high school football season. There was one, and I will say last year too, we were all so hungry for football because we didn't know if we were going to get it, and the NFL and college stuff was getting delayed, and then high school popped up and played. It was really cool to see it. And I watched some high school games on ESPN from all parts of the country. One of the ones I watched last year, and it was up in Tennessee, and one of the schools, the quarterback was T. Martin's son. Remember T. Martin, the quarterback that won the national championship right after Peyton Manning at Tennessee? It was his son, who he has now, I think, signed a baseball and football scholarship with the University of Miami. But he was that quarterback last year, and they were actually playing Deion Sanders' team. And I think it was like the week after Deion Sanders and his high school team, Trinity, Texas, had played at MRA to open the season. Of course, that one wasn't televised on ESPN, but it was broadcast on the radio here on the Zone, and then it was also, you could watch it on their website at MRA, which we did as a family and just thoroughly enjoyed it. Talked about that last year. So I'm genuinely excited. Now, there are other, as a part of this, if I'm looking at this right, Oakland High School, it's in Murfreesboro. Yes, you're right. MRA, I believe, is the only school in Mississippi that's a part of this grouping of games on ESPN. They have some on the 26th and the 27th and the 28th. 26th is a Thursday night, August 26th. On ESPNU, you're going to have South Lake Carroll from Texas versus Highland Park, Texas. That game will actually be at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Jerry's World, for that one on Thursday night. Then the Friday game is going to be ESPN2, Milton, Georgia versus North Cobb, Georgia. Some of y'all that follow recruiting will know players on these teams. I don't know. And then, of course, the Saturday games, and it's you got 4 games on that Saturday. All right, it'll start with noon Saturday, August 28th on ESPN. St. Francis from Maryland taking on St. Thomas Aquinas from Florida. Those are a couple teams that have participated in these games on ESPN a lot of different times. So the noon game is St. Francis versus St. Thomas Aquinas. The 3 p.m. game on ESPN2, Oakland High School from Tennessee versus MRA, live from MRA. The 6 p.m. game on that Saturday, the 28th, will be Pace Academy from Georgia versus Rabun County. It's on ESPN2. And then late that night on ESPNU on the 28th, 9 p.m. kickoff between Bridgeland, Texas and Klein-Cain, Texas. You have one game on Sunday, and it involves a team you're familiar with because of recruiting. Sunday, August 29th, 1:30 p.m. on ESPN. It's going to be IMG Academy from Florida versus Bishop Sycamore from Ohio. And you got a team from Ohio basically hosting it that Sunday at 1:30. They're going to play that high school game at the football field at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. So it's the Hall of Fame, the place where the Hall of Fame game takes place near Canton, Ohio. So anyway, really neat. And my excitement's up. Last year was a year, and I think COVID had something to do with it, where, you know, it was uncertain about the NFL last year this time. It was uncertain about college football. You just didn't really know. And meanwhile, your local high schools were just continuing on. They were suiting up. We're going to play. We're going to figure it out. Most of them were, not all, but most. We're going to suit up. We're going to figure it out. We're just going to go play. And a lot of people did this, sort of got reacquainted with and reinvested at a whole new level with high school football. And man, I enjoyed watching high school football last year. And it started, the first one, like I said, before I even went to a game at a field. MRA hosted Trinity, Texas, the team that Deion Sanders was coaching and his son was playing for. It was a big deal. We wanted to see it. So we went and subscribed on the MRA website, and we streamed it on our television here. And they had I think it was a 2-camera broadcast. And Bill, the video part of their broadcast was basically synced up with the radio broadcast with Ross calling the game. And number one, they did a fantastic job calling the game. And it was because they call the game the way you're supposed to. Just call the game. So that was enjoyable as compared to what we get used to watching on TV so much. And then it was a great game. You know, this really talented team from Texas. MRA was better, more prepared, ready to play that game, you know, maybe for obvious reasons. But it was still competitive back and forth, and Trinity had the lead. Or was it a tie game? I know it was a close game where you tied, something like that at the very end. And, you know, it was a 3rd down. And I think they had the lead trying to maybe, you know, kill the game and chose to run a reverse, fumbled the sucker. MRA recovers it. They scored and win the ball game. We really enjoyed watching that last year, and they did a great job. So I'm just as excited this year to kind of get back into the high school football. And this really, when I heard about this last night, this really whet my appetite.
You know, MRA's got a pretty good schedule this year. The next game they play is against Pulaski Academy in Arkansas.
Yeah, and seems
not
like
a bad team there either.
No, not at all.
Their travel there.
You know, it's almost like MRA's philosophy is sort of becoming what the old Southern Miss slogan was under Jeff Bauer. Anyone, anytime, anywhere.
There you go.
Just put it on the schedule. We'll play it. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. So if you just missed that, they put the press release out. MRA is going to play on ESPN2. They're going to host Oakland High School from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, a team that, if I'm not mistaken, are, back-to-back defending champions. So they've won 2 in a row in 6A public school in Tennessee. That's going to be fun. That is really going to be fun. And if everything goes according to plan, then a little bit later in this hour, we may get to chat with Coach Herbert Davis, head coach MRA. I think they're already getting ready for the season, and we may get a few minutes with him and kind of check in and see what he thinks about it. All right, over to the Country Pleasing text line. Let's see where that takes us. 885-ESPN or 885-3776. Grumpy text the show, and I got a couple from him. He says, Matt, Grumpy had a great daycation yesterday in God's country. Okay, so he went to Starkville. He says he stopped by Kane Overstreet. He says they think a lot of you. That's good to know. Then he said, how about the national championship flag flying over the new dude? Hail State from Grumpy. Do y'all realize what was going on 1 month ago today? Bill, pop quiz, trivia. What was going on 1 month ago today?
They were playing baseball?
Baseball. That's right. So let's see, the 28th. 1 month ago today was the first game of the series against Vanderbilt. And of course, Vandy won that first game behind Jack Leiter. But this would have been the Monday of that series. And so 1 month ago today was my first radio broadcast on this show in Omaha. And Bill, does it not seem like, it doesn't seem like a whole month has gone by since we did that.
No, it sure doesn't. Time goes by fast when you're having fun.
It really flew by.
And you had a vacation in there and all that.
That's it. I know, it just flew by. So yeah, anyway, this is the 1 month anniversary. I'm calling, is that a thing? I just made that up. Of the start of the championship series between State and Vanderbilt. Thanks for bringing it up.
11 more months.
Say what?
A champion's 11 more months.
That's right. Unless you can go win it again. Who knows? They got to pick up some production. You lose Rowdy Jordan, and Bednar, and Tanner Allen. Those guys, that's a lot of production I have to replace. But I'm telling you, and rightfully so, just mark my words, State added a couple of real fire-breathing transfers already. An outfielder from UAB that was tearing it up. An infielder from Mercer that's a big-time home run hitter and is really good. And not to mention, you're just going to have guys like Logan Tanner, Cameron James, some of those rascals back, Kellum Clark, who they're going to be an exciting team. But LSU has gotten better. Jay Johnson immediately came in and got a bunch of his Arizona kids to transfer in there who are pretty good. And I'll tell you one to keep an eye on is Texas A&M baseball. They hired Jim Schlossnagle away from TCU, and he went in and has immediately picked up just like transfer after transfer after transfer. They're going to have an entirely new baseball team, it looks like, at A&M, and he'll have them playing good baseball at some point. So that's something to keep an eye on for sure. Bernie from Canada texted us. He was the one that reminded me that it's Oakland High School in Murfreesboro. It's not Oakland, Tennessee. Bernie, thank you. Need all the help I can get. Nick said, I thought you were going to tell us that Arch Manning was transferring to Starkville High. That really would be big news. Well, I'd be some I don't know. It'd be different than big news. It'd be weird news. That's what that would be. If that were to happen. I can't wait, man. Last year I enjoyed high school football so much, and even more so than I had in a long time. I made a point to go some games. Y'all remember that I went and just about every week filmed a game for the high school series that I was doing called Hometown Heroes, and plan on doing that again this year and seeing all that. So it was just a lot of fun. I've had some years past where, you go into the year and you just cannot wait for that first college game. I'm telling you, I genuinely am just as excited for the first high school game I get to lay eyes on this year as I am the college stuff. I really am. Jason in Flagstaff said, Facebook just told me that it's been 2 years already since I called in so that y'all could hear the planes and helicopters fighting the fire a mile across the road. That was 2 years ago, Jason? That's another one. It seems like it just happened. All right, here we go. Davini Equipment phone. Let's see what Ryan wants to talk about on line one. Thanks for calling, Ryan. What's up?
Hey, you're talking about some high school football. This year, Porter's Chapel Academy, one of the schools here in Vicksburg, they're going from 11-man to 8-man football.
Oh, really? Is that right?
And my dad does the radio for them, and they've dabbled in 8-man a bunch.
Yeah.
Now they're going like full 8-man.
So they're going to play
And
8-man
let me tell you
football
something.
at Porter's Chapel.
8-man football is really exciting.
I have never seen an 8-man game.
You've got to check it out. There's not a lot of defense going on in it, but
Yeah.
it's like you'll have some really high scoring shootouts.
Okay.
It is really fun.
Yeah. Hey, I appreciate the heads up on that, Ryan. Because I'll be down that way some, and I might get a chance to check them out. Like I say, I've always wanted to look and watch an 8-man game. I've never done it. And a lot of great players that come out of 8-man football. You know, Leighton Vander Esch, who was a first-round pick of the Cowboys a couple of years ago at linebacker out of Boise State, played 8-man football in high school prior to going to Boise State. You don't have to have 11 on the field for you to be a great player, that's for sure. Ryan, thanks for the call, man. Football. What else? I'll get to some of your comments on the live stream and your text message, phone calls. 38 days from college football, or less even. It's almost here. We're just getting started today. Stick around.
There's a lot of noise when it comes to 5G.
We're 5G.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi. And that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy, better buy, better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Zone1059.com and
Keep your radio turned on
to ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Hey, here we go. All right, back with you. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, staying connected to you because of C Spire, the #1 network in Mississippi. C Spire, customer inspired. If y'all would like to read the ESPN press release about the high school football kickoff that I mentioned that MRA is participating in, they're going to play on ESPN2. They're going to host a team from Tennessee on August 28th. There's some other games going on that weekend. I sent out a tweet, and it's got the press release link there attached to it. Okay, so if y'all want to see that, flip on over there. Feel free. Now, I said I would get to some of the comments on the live stream. Let's do that now. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, just type it in, hit submit. A few things there. Hey to everybody. Hey, y'all. Norris commented, he said, let's get some info on the defensive line. He says, I think Aaron Odom is a sleeper. Experience with Simmons Sweat, others when he was younger. Do you think his contribution would be greater than they're talking about? Odom's going to play a lot if he's healthy, and it's kind of where. He's one of those that can, inside and out. I'm going to tell you, okay, just this is blanket statement. We can dive into personnel later on, I guess, but Norris, State's got defensive people now. They've got players on defense. And I think there's a, as people like to say, there's a little bit of sleeping going on them. Yes, you lose Errol Thompson off that defense from a year ago. You lose Marquise Spencer, who, by the way, signed his rookie deal with Denver. He's going to have an excellent chance to try to make their depth chart. Got to stay healthy in training camp. But anyway, you look at what's left, and they added the pass rusher from UCF, Charlton, Randy Charlton at defensive end, who, he fits right in with those SEC athletes on that side. But when you look at it, if guys start getting hurt and you get into their 3 deep, well, they're like a lot of teams. Then you're playing young guys and you're trying to develop. That's kind of where they were last year in terms of developing guys. But where they are now, if they're healthy, they have 2 future NFL corners. Okay, they may have more, but the 2 I know about are the 2 starters. All right, and they're 2 big-time players. And Martin Emerson at one corner and Forbes at the other. They're both going to play NFL football. They are. Okay, at safety, you've got some guys back who have been in the system who played pretty well last year, but were brand new. They've got experience, and you add in Green from Tech, who transferred in from Texas, who's a former 5-star recruit, and you watch him in the spring, and there's no question he's a 5-star type athlete. It's just a matter of how does he fit in and does he stay healthy. And then on the defensive front, which you asked me about, I think they have a chance to be good. And I'm not even looking at the depth chart. You mentioned Odom, but when you start a defensive front, and they're going to primarily be a 3-man front, so you won't have a lot of times where Pickering and Crumedy, I say a lot of times, you won't have a ton of snaps where Pickering and Crumedy are lining up beside each other, right? A lot of times you'll have one of them in, one of them out. Certain packages you may have 2 in. But when you're starting right there, that's 2 defensive tackles that I think are going to play NFL football and are really good and going to get drafted. They got players. You know, you're talking about Brule in the middle of your defense. Another year on Nathaniel Watson at linebacker. I think they got a chance to be pretty good. Last year, we gave them no credit for having any chance to be any good, and they were a whole lot better than we thought they would be. I'm talking about Mississippi State for those that might be scratching their head. So get those comments in there. What's up? Danny says hello from Ringgold, Georgia. Will reminded me that SEC presidents vote tomorrow on adding Texas and Oklahoma. Matt, do you think the vote will be unanimous? I think it will be. Yeah, I think by the time you actually get there to place your votes. Now, you know, there's a little kicking and screaming that goes on or has gone on, and maybe there will go on publicly, but then you're going to have a 14-0 vote. What I don't know, Will, is do they have to make the vote total public? You know what I'm saying? Like if it's, 11-3, which is just barely enough to pass, are they going to tell us it was 11-3? Or are we just going to say it passed? That's what I would like to know. Are they going to say it passed by a vote of? It'll pass, and I think it will be. By the time they actually put their vote in a box, I don't know how they do it. By the time they get to that, it'll be unanimous. That's what I think. Hey, and speaking of, Bill, you know how we always play these fight songs, right?
Yes, sir.
And we got one coming up, team number 38 on the countdown. I was looking through all my SEC fight songs the other day, and I realized there are 2 SEC schools whose fight songs I did not have placed on my soundboard already. Okay? And I guess there's no irony in that the 2 I didn't have on there were Missouri and Texas A&M. And so I went and got Texas A&M, and I was just reminded how different their fight song is. It's not a fight song, it's a march. It's a march.
That military background.
That's right. Now, you've heard people talk about it, but the Texas A&M band, the way they march and like cross each other in lines of 4 and 5 without knocking each other over really tight in the middle of the field. It is a sight to see if you never. This is their fight song. And I think the first lyrics of their fight song is "Goodbye to Texas University." Okay. Now, some people over the years have sort of said, oh, that's the most Texas A&M thing I've ever heard. The fact that they mentioned Texas in their fight song. But when I was looking up the lyrics to the Texas fight song, not Deep in the Heart, but the actual Texas fight song, whatever that is, they mentioned Texas A&M. They both mention each other. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine?
They don't like each other very much.
I mean, Bill, can you imagine State having a fight song that mentions Ole Miss?
No, sir.
Or vice versa?
Or the other way around, yeah.
I mean, it's just, it is a totally different thing out there. It's pretty cool, though. Let me just tell you, with their stadium and the number of people that are in there, the way they stack them up 3 and 4 levels around that stadium, if you get a chance, if you've never been to a Texas A&M game, of all the places to go to a game in the SEC, it is the spectacle of all of them. Okay, because of the stadium, the number of people. Yes, Eric, the real Eric, texted the show, Country Pleasing text line, says, does A&M have female cheerleaders or just a bunch of dudes in khaki uniforms? Well, they do have female cheerleaders. I'm pretty sure. I've seen them, I think. But they also have the guys in the painting outfits. Painters outfits, just all white, head to toe, painters outfits. And they're out there doing these arm things and all. It's different. And they got horses and buggy that go marching around the field. And everybody at Texas A&M is nice. They all say hello and smile and ask you how you're doing and say howdy. It's the nicest place in the world. And the biggest stadium. I'm just telling you, there ain't nothing else like it. Of all the places in the SEC that you need to go see, if you haven't been, Make sure you put Texas A&M up there on that list. Before I come to Chris, here's something I'm going to do. Later in the show, we're going to look at Texas and Oklahoma and their matchups all time versus current SEC schools. Like, how does Oklahoma do against Alabama? How does Texas do against LSU? We're going to look those up. All right, let's flip over. Phone line, Davini Equipment phone line. Chris on line 1. What's up, Chris?
How you doing today, Matt?
Just right.
So my question is this. When you look at it, I understand why Texas A&M doesn't want Texas in the conference with us. But I really don't. I mean, they're not going to really have much of a choice. But if you're being pragmatic about it, why would you ever vote against it? I mean, because didn't I hear you say that their deal with ESPN says that if they bring in more people, that it'll be more money?
Yeah, I was quoting
on top of the deal we've already got?
Yes, I was quoting a Clay Travis tweet, but that was his info, yeah, that ESPN basically has assured the SEC, hey, if you get 2 A-list teams coming in, we'll give them the same share we're giving other teams, so the number will go up.
So, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, why would they want to vote against that? I mean, that's going to really put egg on their face if they throw it out there that, hey, these are the teams that voted against it. I mean, it's just going to make them look bad and be petty. I mean, because that's what that would be being petty, right? Because you're basically taking money out of your school.
Well, yeah.
To try to vote against it.
Okay, from a money perspective, yeah. Yeah, Chris. From a money perspective, yes. But, you know, the reality is there's more to the whole context because of Texas A&M getting away from Texas, and same thing for Arkansas and Missouri to a degree. You know, those
they got to play each other now.
They're going to play each other now. That's right. No choice.
Have a good day.
You too, Chris. It's going to be in the same league, but that's it. They're not going to vote against it. When push comes to shove, I don't think. Because, you know, publicly there needs to be a show of unanimity. Did I say that right?
Is that a good word?
Unanimousness.
We all together.
That's right. They agree. Let's talk football with Coach Davis coming up next. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Stick around.
When it's more than just your lawn, it deserves the Kubota Z400. Get a head-turning offer on class-leading speed, agility, simple deck height adjustments, and a quality cut. When you need comfort and performance, then you need the professional-grade Kubota Z400. Right now, get the Kubota Z400 mower for 0 down and 0% APR for 48 months or save $300 now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Davini Equipment on Highway 51 in Madison, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson. Check them out online, DaviniEquipment.com.
Explore Mississippi and experience the great outdoors, the birthplace of America's music in the Mississippi Delta. Plan your next golf trip to Mississippi and enjoy the sports books at all the casinos. Mississippi, the music, sports, and amazing local cuisine. It's all here for you. Follow Visit Mississippi on Facebook and Instagram at VisitMS. That's at VisitMS or online, visitmississippi.org.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota subcompact and compact tractors. Our reliable #1 selling tractors are designed for easy operation and feature all
the coach called just as you were saying we were going to talk to him.
Okay, great. Appreciate you.
So we are ready to go.
Okay.
And I was just catching up with him too, talking about when he comes up, when I see him all the time when he comes up here.
Yeah.
They come up and do the coaches show here every Wednesday or Thursday. I told him he's really putting the kids to a test this year, playing those 2 teams back to back like that.
Right.
Yeah, 2 top 100 teams. That says, I don't know what we were thinking.
With the iHeartRadio app, you won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And
brace yourself. Now back to the Matt Wyatt Show.
All right, here we go. Rolling along in hour number 1 of the show with you here on this Wednesday, halfway point of the week. MRA, Madison Ridgeland Academy. The Patriots are going to open their season on Friday, August the 13th. You're going to host Greenville Christian, who won the 3A last year. Y'all remember that. And then they won it basketball, too. They are loaded. And MRA is going to host them. And then later in the month of August, we just got a press release that MRA is going to play on ESPN2 against Oakland High School from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. The two-time defending 6A state champs in that state. The guy who leads and coaches the Patriots, Herbert Davis, is on your radio right now. Coach Davis, great to talk to you, man. It's, holy cow, it's here. Who makes your schedule?
Well, I don't know if we're crazy or smart. We like to think we're both of them. So, anyway, it's fun. It's fun. Our kids enjoy getting out and trying to take challenges on, and we've been blessed to do good so far, and so we're going to try to go to another level this year. Hopefully we don't get embarrassed.
Well, you won't. A couple of state championships for you as a head coach back-to-back, 4 for the school now, and you're going into your 8th year. You've kind of been through this, and I just bring those things up, the background, to ask you, knowing that this one is sitting out at the end of August, where not only are we going to see it here at home, but maybe the whole country is going to watch it on a channel like ESPN, ESPN2. How do you feel about that? Does it add any goosebumps, any butterflies, even though the game's about a month away?
Oh, man, it did till I watched Oakland on film, but they kind of got me. They're pretty daggum good, I tell you.
Yeah.
I think they're preseason. I don't know which poll it is, but they're preseason 47th in the country, so it's going to be. They're really good, tough, physical, well coached. So I think they've been on ESPN before, so obviously that's going to be a bonus for them. But hey, man, we're just excited about our program being able to be on ESPN. We were excited just to play that game, period. Because we love to try to play those type of games, and like we did with Dion last year, and played Corinth High School, and just get challenged, so we can hopefully, obviously, the ultimate goal is to win a state championship again.
Sure. This year's team at MRA, compared to what you've had the last 2 years, Coach, I know it's preseason, and you as a head coach, we're not counting chickens before they hatch or anything, but how does this roster and this team stack up going into the year to what you've had the last 2 years? Well,
I think we've been able to score a lot of points, and hopefully we can again, because we got we really got all of our skill guys back on offense. And, and then, of course, we got a new quarterback, but we're really excited about him. And he's going to do big things for us. He's going to be a sophomore, but already has 2 Division I offers. So he came in Christmas and went to work and has really improved. And, he's just a good leader and competitor for us. So we're hoping he'll be able to do big things for us. And, we got to grow up in some areas. We lost 3 big offensive linemen. All of them had offers in college. And, we lost three of our safeties. We play a 3-safety defense, and those guys are very key for our program. And honestly, all 3 of those guys had offers this year. One of them walked on at Southern Miss. So, it's just that's going to be the key. It's kind of our young ones coming in, step up and mature quickly and be able to make plays for us.
Well, and they get to try to mature quickly against some athletes that come in from Greenville Christian. So there's no warm up, is there?
There really isn't. I mean, they Greenville Christian. If you don't know their story, and they're the COVID team, but they are very, very talented. 5 or 6 probably Division I players. Several of them have already been, already committed to play at the next level. I think the quarterback's one of the better quarterbacks in the state, and so they're going to come in here with a little fire and vinegar. I think they've asked for us, so that tells you, they're wanting to try to step it up too. So, and they got the kids to do it.
Coach Herbert Davis on your radio right now. He's the head coach at MRA, going into his 8th year. Told you a minute ago, we learned today, less than an hour ago, that MRA is going to host Oakland High School from Murfreesboro, Tennessee on August the 28th at home there in Ridgeland, and it'll be broadcast nationally live on ESPN2. Coach, you mentioned looking at Oakland on film. Just kind of basically, briefly, what kind of team are they? Are they a spread team like we see so much of?
No, sir. They're not. They're really kind of old school wing tee.
Really?
With a dabble of some spread. But they are gigantic up front. They have big tight ends and big fullbacks. And they really do a great job of overloading, one side or the other with their best players. They may run a tackle over with their tackling their best tight end and fullback all on one side, and they're all blocking down, So they just do a great job saying, hey, this is who we are. This is, our best guys, and they get them kind of waddled up over there on one side, and they run it up your rear end. They're just really good.
Yeah.
And then defensively, they scare me to death. They got 9 starters back. They got a 4-star or 5-star corner, that's got offers from Georgia, Florida, Alabama. They got a 4-star tailback. Got offers from Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Florida. They got a 3-star tailback, and then whoever else, I don't even know after that. But those guys scare me to death. But very, very fast team on defense, and athletic, not huge, which I'll be honest with you, that scares me more than the big guys. So we got to work that out for them.
Coach Davis, I grew up in the state of Alabama, and as a kid of the 80s, we watched the Bear Bryant show followed by the Pat Dye show on Sunday afternoons in the fall. And when you listen to those old coaches, by the time they finished describing their opponents, you thought everybody they played could go and beat the Chicago Bears. And I'll be honest with you, Coach, you kind of sound like them.
Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm going to tell you the real truth. I usually watch a film, and after about a week or so, I start feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah.
And I've been looking at this thing for about 6 weeks. I haven't felt good about it yet. So we got some work cut out for us, I'm telling you.
I hear you. Well, and the thing is, you're practicing already, right?
Yes, sir. We actually had our first practice today. Most MAIS schools started on Monday. A few years ago, we just kind of got caught into an early game, and they changed the times we could start practicing, and we had already had our schedule set. We said, hey, we work hard in the summer. We'll be ready, so let's just try it. And, we were ready, and so we've kind of kept it that way. So we used it this last 2 days and over the weekend to have an extra break for the kids coming to get away, don't think about it, and because obviously the season gets long, and that's kind of where I've changed through the years. I think you got to work them, but I think you got to give them a little sugar and let them rest a little bit and get them away from it a little bit some too.
Sure. The all-turf playing field there, the new surface and the newly renovated stadium at MRA, do you guys practice on the game field a lot, particularly when it rains?
We do. We practice on it every time. Matter of fact, we just got our new practice field down there. We just got it turf this summer.
Okay.
Because it was in bad shape. So now we got another turf field down there we practice on, and got a new gigantic scoreboard going in today. So we're excited about that too. So, man, we're really blessed. School's really backed us, and it's allowed us to do the things to put us in this situation we're in right now.
Sure. One more question about playing in a nationally televised game like that. I mean, you got a roster of kids that are loaded with playing in big games and on big stages, have won state championships, 2 of them in a row. A bunch of kids have experienced that. But in your mind, will there be some, extra emphasizing and coaching to have kids understand that you can't get caught up in the fact that there are trucks and lights and broadcasters and TV cameras when that game happens?
I mean, what people really don't know, they just see the game. Guess what? They're going to be here all week. They're going to be in here all week writing stories, doing, headlines, and they're going to be in our locker room. They're going to be in the middle of our huddle. They're going to be wherever, all over the place. And so just the distraction of that week, honestly, is almost worse than playing for a state championship. And then obviously, I joked with my fellow colleagues this morning from WJTV and WAPT. I said, no, nothing against y'all, but that thing gets a little different when it says ESPN on the side of it. So, so it's going to be different for sure, and it will be, a big deal for us. It's going to be, conditioning. We're a tempo team, so conditioning is going to be huge, being a 2:00 game, and then how we handle the success of being on national television.
No doubt about it. Well, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm genuinely excited to watch the game and follow the games, and if I can make it, I'm going to try to get down and watch you guys play Greenville Christian, if we can do that. I know a lot of other people are excited too. Hats off to you, Coach. A heck of a schedule. We can't wait to watch it. Thank you.
Well, appreciate it. We appreciate you having me on, Matt. Thank a lot of you. Hey, love your devotions in the morning.
Hey, appreciate that. There's really nothing more important than those. We can do a lot of other stuff, but that's where the importance is. Hey,
good way to start the day. Listen to Matt's devotion. Appreciate you, Matt.
Thank you, Coach. Talk to you soon. That's Herbert Davis, the head coach of the MRA Patriots. We playing in the National High School Football Kickoff as part of ESPN's weekend. It'll start on the 27th, go to 28th, 29th, whatever it is, but MRA playing on the 28th against a team from Tennessee that's won 2 state championships in a row. Oh, by the way, MRA has as well. It is going to be a knockdown drag out. Cannot wait to watch it. That's hour 1. It's in the books. Hour 2 coming up. Stick around.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep. couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's Virtual Tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O Instant Pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O Instant Pudding.
nationwide 5G speeds for non-stop downloading everything.
Are you saying super fast 5G downloading right before you get on the plane? Everything?
Yep, your favorite shows and movies just in time for the flight, everything.
Passengers, get ready for takeoff. And we're off with everything we need.
It's everything you want, including the price. Smile, you're on Cricket.
Speed restrictions apply. Video and standard definition compatible plan and device required for 5G access, which may not be available in your area. For 5G coverage, see cricketwireless.com/map.
WRKS Pickett's Jackson.
Time!
It's time to get back to the Matt Wyatt Show.
Live in the studio.
Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All right, here we go. Hour number 2 of the show, off and running. I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau, go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Coach Herbert Davis from MRA at the end of the first hour. Madison Ridgeland Academy, they're going to host Oakland High School from Murfreesboro, Tennessee on ESPN2 on August the 28th at, I think it's 2 o'clock Central.
Yeah, 2 o'clock Central on Saturday.
Yeah, 2 o'clock Central. So, I mean, he's right now. I mean, it's, you know, it could be third week of September and be 100 degrees in the shade, too. We get it. But you pretty much guaranteed, Bill, that on August the 28th,
it's going to be hot. Not only the temperature, but on the field.
Yeah. And
that's a couple of good teams there.
It is. And here's the thing about the heat, and you play in the middle of the day like that, and you know, it's hot. So if you get a bright sunshine day on top of that, then the turf, that artificial turf, really heats up also. And so whatever temperature it is for me and you sitting up in the stands or out in our yard mowing grass, add about 20 degrees to that on the surface of that artificial playing field.
You know, you were looking for something earlier to make that announcement.
Yeah.
I think I found something.
That would work. Yeah, you know.
Hear ye, hear ye. Oh, no. Matthew has
Hear ye, hear ye. You know, I think JB used to use that whenever the homecoming queen was here.
Yeah, I think so.
And he would announce her with that, you know, and she'd turn all red-faced.
I got a drum roll I'm going to put in here on my soundboard.
Wow, and I should have already done that by now, but you know how it is. A good host would have already done it, but here I sit.
And the mediocre guy does it, you know, when he gets a chance.
When we get around to it.
Yeah, you want to get around to it.
When you all get around to it, feel free to be a part of the show. You can text me, call me, or comment on the live stream. However you want to be a part of the show. I'd love to hear from you today. You can text the Country Pleasing text line. It's 885-ESPN or 885-3776. Call me on the Divinity phone or comment here on the live stream. We were talking about Texas A&M earlier, and Sven, who's over in Berlin, Germany, said College Station is amazing. Yeah, I really like College Station. There's a lot of good food. You know, big, flat, wide open. You know, it's Texas. But I'm telling you, man, if you've never seen Kyle Field and you're in a position to go see a game there, either see your team play or any game, but especially an SEC game where they're going to be, you know, full and, you know, they're going to buy a lot of tickets. Excuse me. Make sure you go if you get that opportunity. Struggling today. Jimmy said on YouTube, he said, the way I read that tweet by Clay Travis was ESPN will increase the deal so that the new teams get the same share as the rest of the SEC teams. That doesn't sound like more money to existing teams. No, Jimmy, I'm on the same page with you, and maybe I misunderstood what Chris was saying earlier when he called in. That's the way I read it also, is, you know, they're going to get the same pro rata share as the other teams. So, and again, we're talking about good hosts. Jimmy, if I could remember the $300 million deal and how that shakes out over how many years, we could figure out exactly how much it is for each school, or at least what was reported. We could go by that. I don't remember. I'm thinking I read that it was something like, you know, an extra $25 million a year for each SEC school above what they have been getting. So, yes, I read it the same way, that ESPN has guaranteed the SEC, okay, we cut this deal with you at X amount of total dollars. You divide it, but X amount of total dollars for 14 teams. That means this much for each team, ... Well, if you add 2 more A-list teams like Texas and Oklahoma, sure, we'll add that to the deal. Add 2 more teams to the deal, add their share the same as the other share so nobody's shares going down by adding teams. It's going to be the same because there's increased value over and above everything, no question about it. And Jimmy, again, if we were to take a pencil and paper and jot this down and start doing the math, we could probably figure out how ESPN might be looking at approaching this based on that nugget of information we got yesterday that from Chip Brown, formerly of Orange Bloods, and now he's with 24/7 Sports, but he's been covering Texas all these years, who reported that ESPN is sitting there right now at this moment, still owes Texas something like $300 million for the remaining 10 years or whatever it is on the Longhorn Network, which is about to die, and everybody knows it. Because it's a money vacuum for ESPN. They're not making anything off that. And the content's nobody's watching it. Okay, it's just a deal. And they got to have something. And so ESPN, I would think, would be glad to go, well, you're coming to the SEC. Okay, and we just struck a new deal with the SEC, and it's this much money. Okay, and so this share, we know at least this share is going right back into your pocket because you're coming into the league. All right, so let's trim that off, the front end. Let's just go ahead and trim that off the front end of this, what we have left, since we're about to be in partnership anyway. And that leaves us with, we owe you whatever it is, $150, $200 million on the remainder of this Longhorn deal. So here's what else let's do, okay? At ESPN, let's go ahead and hand you that money, the majority of it that we owe you for the remainder of the Longhorn Network. You take that money, and Texas is like, wait a minute, you can give us all that in a lump sum? Yeah, here, you take it. We're going to kill the Longhorn Network. We're going to immediately then lump you into all this new SEC content, and we're going to go out and sell it. We're happy to give you this money because we're going to go back and recoup it and then some because now you're part of this other TV deal we have. So there's a whole lot of connecting and networking and calculating, moving and shaking and making phone calls to the accountant. There's a lot of that stuff going on right now. They'll get it all figured out, I'm sure. I'm great confidence in that they'll get it all figured out. Jason in Flagstaff texted the show, and he said, Greenville Christian won those state titles with athletes from public schools all over the Delta who canceled their seasons. Bingo! That's why they were called the COVID team. Greenville Christian. All those public schools on the Delta, COVID, canceled school, none, no football, nothing. And what they do, they all transfer to Greenville Christian, start beating everybody's butt. Now, Jason said all those athletes have gone back to Greenwood High, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think so. You heard Coach Davis say they still got like 6 or 7 D1 recruits and some commits and a great quarterback and all that. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens on that. Jonathan texted and said, our family sends the kids to Hartfield. They are moving up in divisions to play district with MRA, Prep, and JA. Jonathan said, I laughed when he said, we got a new QB that came in December and already has D1 offers. Chris from Macon. What's up, Chris? He says, Matt, he says, if you're only a good host, what does that make Brooks? Brooks a good host too. We just different hosts, still good. It's kind of like passing quarterback versus option quarterback. You can still both be good, it's just different, right? It's the way I like to think of it, Chris. All right, here we go to the phone line, Davini Equipment phone line. Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson, your Kubota dealer. Thibodeau on line 1. What's up, Thibodeau?
Yeah, you talking about that playing in the heat?
Yeah.
You graduated from state in '99, right?
May of 2000.
Okay. So, were you on the team that played at Memphis September 2nd in 2000?
No, I was gone by then. The 99 season was my senior year, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. All right, I got my months backed up, but look, that was my first season in Starkville as a student. Did junior college first, went up to Mississippi State. So me and Anthony Craven and his now wife and our other two roommates, we drove up for that game in Memphis.
Okay.
And boy, you want to talk about hot. I mean, that was a middle of the afternoon game in that all concrete stadium. They were talking about it being like 115 and 120 on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just crazy how that heat can just go right down into that little bowl and not come out.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
It was brutal. You know, we played up there some. I played in some really hot games up there. Played in some really hot day games in Baton Rouge, or one anyway. Played in a really scorching hot day game. It was actually the first game I ever started in college. It was at South Carolina. You know, anywhere in the Southeast, you can pop up in September and get a 100-degree day, and the air doesn't move. And I always kind of felt like, I mean, you suffer as players, but you're sort of used to it because you practice in it every day and you're in really good condition, right? And once you kind of get a little sweat going, you're moving around as a player. So even as hot as it is, you're constantly drinking water, hydrating, moving around. You're used to the sweat. It's, I think, a lot worse on fans than it is actually the players, even though the players are the ones running around. Because a lot of fans aren't used to the heat. You know, they either work inside or they spend more time inside, not necessarily as used to sitting out in it. And they can't move around. You're sitting on a metal bleacher or a concrete step or something, you know, that heat's just radiating. And sometimes I feel like the fans don't actually have it worse than the players do.
I would agree. You talk about being conditioned in the business that I'm in. My heaviest revenue years where I have to do the absolute most work is when I can handle the heat the best, because I've done so much in February, March, and April and May that I've gotten ready for it. So when July and August get here, it's still hot, it's still dangerous, but it doesn't affect me near as much. Like this year, not a big year just yet, so I'm not quite conditioned, so I've really got to be careful. And it's really just about 12 to 13 bottles of water and about 4 Powerade or Gatorades a day.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're out there all day long.
It's I'm laying mulch today, and about every 20 minutes you could crank the truck up and sit there in the air conditioner for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
you do have to be careful. And I guess the older you get too, you just have to, as we get older, you just got to admit, hey, I can't do what I did when I was 25 anymore. You know, you got to make sure you drink enough water.
The interesting thing about that is I told my wife, I was like, I don't feel like I can't handle it. What I feel like is if the sun touches my skin, it's hotter than it used to be. Like, it hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. So, like, my neck is covered, my arms are covered, I'm wearing gloves, and, you know, it's just, you know, you walk across a parking lot, and it's in the full sun, and you've got, like, a neck or an arm exposed, you're going, man, I feel like I'm literally burning right now.
Yeah. I don't know. I've always handled it as an adult. Once I got into college and from there on, I've handled the heat really well. I've gotten where I really like the heat. I prefer the heat. And, you know, frankly, it's 90, 95. I can get out there and go, you know, because I'll drink enough water. And I think playing ball in college sort of did that to me. I will tell you this, Thibodeau, when I was in high school and getting ready to play ball, I was going into my sophomore year, okay? And that particular summer, I didn't work a job or anything, and I was just kind of, I don't know, farting around. And I was spending a lot of time inside. I was swimming in the swimming pool every day and just like playing a little pickup basketball and then go inside. And my dad kept telling me, hey, you need to get yourself in shape and stay out in the sun and stay out in the heat, because if not, you're going to suffer once football practice starts. And I'm like, I'll be all right. I'll be okay. Yeah. I was Mr. Big Shot. I'm going to be a sophomore. And I got the world at my fingertip here. I'll be okay, man. Don't tell me what to do. And let me tell you something. Boy, was he right. When we started football practice, I was out of shape. I hadn't been running. I hadn't been out in the heat that summer. I suffered for that first 2 weeks of two-a-days, and I made a commitment to myself. I will never let this happen again. And I got myself in shape the remainder of my football career, and I made a point to do it in college too. I'd purposely spend all summer outside somehow so that when practice rolled around, I was used to the elements.
Yeah. Real quick before I go, 2 days ago I was at a gas station, and this lady walked out, and she looked at me, and she looked at my trailer full of equipment, and then looked up at the sky, and then looked back at me and said, "I'm praying for you."
That's great. Who knows, Thibodeau? That prayer might be the only reason you made it.
Yeah, and that was a day that I almost had to crawl back to the truck at the end of the day.
Bless your heart.
It's rough out here, buddy.
I know it is. Well, hang in there. Hang in there.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Thanks for the call. Louvier said, I can attest Thibodeau works and he hydrates and he wears long sleeve shirts. And I guess that's the sun part of it, keeping it off of your skin. You know what the dermatologist told me on Monday afternoon, Bill? Okay.
Stay out of the sun?
Well, yeah, that's kind of like the ongoing message. Okay, but look, she zapped me with that gun.
Ooh.
I came probably 10, 12 times all over my back, shoulders, chest. Okay. And I hadn't been out in the sun without a shirt on in years because of my dermatologist. Because years ago, she looked at me and she said, Matt, promise me, no more going out in the sun without a shirt on. No more going out without a hat on. All this stuff. And I still came out of there on Monday feeling like I had just done battle with a hornet's nest. I mean, they zapped me all over. And she said, here's the thing about it. She said, you could go the rest of your life and never expose that skin to sun again. But because of what you did when you were younger, you did enough damage to it. You'll come back in here every year and you're going to have new spots and new spots and new spots. And it's all this residual effect of when I was younger, right? And, kid and a teenager always outside without a shirt on. And didn't really have the kind of skin to handle it. So probably a smart idea, Olivia. I don't know. I don't guess I've ever met Thibodeau face to face, but it's probably a smart idea. Now let's get to this real quick. Bill, I'm going to read Joey's text live on the air here, and I'm just going to let the chips fall.
It's a good one.
And I'm going to let the chips fall. Joey texts us on the Country Pleasing text line and says, Brooks and Beaver calling you out to have a good show is tantamount to a Yugo demanding that a Mercedes be a good car. I cannot wait. Oh, Snoopy. Oh, I cannot wait to tell Beaver and Brooks that somebody texted in and compared their show to a Yugo.
There you go. We're the Mercedes.
Me. What was the old joke? It said, they call it a Yugo because if it were any bigger, they could call it a Wego or something like that. I forget the joke that used to go around. Yeah, you young whippersnappers, look that one up.
Bad car.
Did you ever drive one?
No.
I never did either.
Don't want to.
I mean, but there was a period of time where there were Yugo ads popping up all over the place. And they were really trying to sell you a Yugo. I never did have
You really
one.
want a car from Yugoslavia?
Is that why it was called a Yugo?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I had no clue that's why they called it a Yugo.
This is what I always thought, that they made them in Yugoslavia, so they called it a Yugo.
Called it a Yugo.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong about that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Again, kid of the 80s here. I just saw the ads. I never questioned. I never tried to figure out where the name came from. I just knew it was this little box-looking thing that they were really trying to sell those cars.
The first Hondas that came over, everybody called them lawnmower cars. Because they made lawnmowers before that. They never.
They were. I see that.
Lawnmower company, Honda lawnmowers.
Huh.
And chainsaws and that kind of stuff. They started making cars.
How about that?
Kind of makes you wonder about those.
It does. Yeah.
Little four-cycle.
Little four-cycle engine there. Do you still do a push mower?
Yeah, I do. I don't have a very big yard.
Don't have a big yard. Yeah. I got a decent sized yard. I certainly could mow it with the.
You need Thibodeau.
Like with a zero turn or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still at a point in my life where it's part of the exercise routine. You know, I keep up with my calories and that I take in and the calories I burn with this app. And when I go mow, it's really good. I can knock off a bunch of calories on my day.
Yeah.
And so I'm still doing the push mower deal.
It's good for you to get out there and work your legs and your back.
Yeah.
Push that thing. And I have a kind of a little bit of a hill in my backyard. It kind of goes up and down a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You know, you can feel the back of your legs working when
You
push
can feel it now. That's right. See, mine's not self-propelled. No, it's all muscle. I don't know how much longer I'll be doing that. When it's time, I'm going straight to Jonathan over at Davini and saying, hey, you see that orange zero-turn mower sitting out there that says Kubota? I want a deal.
It's got my name on it.
I want a discount. And then we'll see how hard he laughs at me. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
Now to get back to our little talk.
Right here on the Matt Wyatt Show.
Well, in case you were wondering, it looks like LSU is getting into the name, image, and likeness game. I mean, assuming they haven't already. Let me just read this to you here. So on Twitter, there's a couple of them. There's a couple of tweets on this subject here. I'll see if I can find them. Here's one. Yeah, so Brody Miller covers LSU. Ed Ogeron, speaking to the Baton Rouge Rotary Club, makes this joke about name, image, and likeness. Quote, "We're paying players now. Name, image, and likeness. So if you guys want to start paying our players, you can go ahead." I mean, it's not a surprise at all. None of this is surprising. But what it is you have to, if you're old enough, you can, in your head, take these comments from a current coach, put them up against the background of everything you've lived through for the last 30 to 40 years of NCAA oversight and supposed enforcement. Another quote here. Matt Moscona, our friend down in Baton Rouge, is there. And he said he was asked about businesses creating an internship for football players for name, image, and likeness purposes. Ed Ogeron's quote, "Do it, I'm serious. Many as you want to give our players money legally, do it. We would like that done. Other schools are doing it and bragging about it." Well, that's where we are. That is where we are. Like, there's just nothing to stop anybody from really doing anything. Nothing to stop them. Bill, before we talk about team number 38 on the countdown of 100 teams, I just want to pass something along to you real quick.
Okay.
I just saw it on Facebook. You're not too far from here. From Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence, the home of country pleasing sausage. They are having a sale today.
Uh-oh.
Crab meat dressing stuffed chicken breast. Or you can get a chicken breast stuffed with 4 cheese and bacon. 4 cheese sausage and bacon. Now, but you can get the chicken breast stuffed with crab meat dressing for $5.99 a pound. Originally, it was $7.99. It's $2 off. 25% if you want to do a little math on it. I'm looking at a picture of it. So I just thought I'd tell you.
So if I go down there and drop your name, it'll cost me double, right?
I would tread lightly there. just
Matt Wyatt sent me.
You just read the room. Just step in there and read the room. Yeah, I mean, $5.99 a pound for that chicken breast stuffed with crab meat. You had the pork chop stuffed with crab meat, right?
Oh, yeah, and it was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. See, my brother-in-law had the chicken breast stuffed with macaroni and cheese. Their special version, souped-up version of macaroni and cheese that also includes sausage. And I had the pork
Brisket.
tenderloin. The what?
Was it pork tenderloin or brisket? It was pork tenderloin.
I think, yeah, it was pork tenderloin.
Yeah, that's right.
Stuffed with that. I'm telling you, if I walked in the store today, I'd buy one of those chicken breasts stuffed with that 4 cheese and bacon.
Ooh.
And wouldn't it? I'd walk in there, buy it, walk straight to a fire somewhere and cook it. That's how quickly I would want to eat it after having it. That macaroni and cheese stuff.
Yeah, what was that thing stuffed with that time that you had it?
Okay,
macaroni and cheese.
Yes. All right. So
bacon?
I had a pork chop that was stuffed with sausage.
Yeah.
You had the pork chop stuffed with crab meat. What I had was a pork tenderloin stuffed with macaroni and cheese. Ooh. Their special one. It has like 2 or 3 different kinds of cheeses, but it's a little bit different type of noodle, but it's also got cream cheese in it and sausage and stuff. I mean, it's like
special. It's really special. You can tell by looking at it.
Mm-hmm. It is something else. Anyway, telling you all that, they've got a sale going on today. Okay, over to the phone line. Davini Equipment phone. Davini Equipment, Madison and in Jackson. DJ on line 1. What's up? What's up, DJ?
Well, large chocolate cake, please. That'll be all. Sorry about that, Matt.
No problem. Got you a large chocolate shake?
Yeah, I know it.
And more.
I'm dieting, but every now and then I treat myself. But let me just say this. First off, my last Bushmore experience was in 1991, okay? So I'm not going back. But
okay. Right.
Let me just throw this at you. And you know good and well, the name, image, and likeness, a lot of players aren't going to get paid, okay?
Right.
You agree with that?
That's right.
Mm-hmm. They may get, now NCAA 2000 and whatever comes back, there'll be a minimal stipend available to each player, but you figure that's going to be a couple of $100. That's going to be a couple of $100, okay? So my question is this. Now, allegedly, after Bama served their last probation in the early 2000s, they created a network similar to a cartel, okay? Now, I'm not going to get into whether they did that or not. Okay, we know Alabama, Ohio State land the lion's shares of don't you think this opens the door for smaller colleges to get big-name players by coming up with money that the big schools wouldn't be willing to pay?
Yeah, I think it does open that door. I wonder how often, it happens, but does it open the door? Yeah, I think so, DJ. And what I have wondered is, you don't have this a lot, but sometimes you'll have a case of there may be a big-time recruit, big-time player who's kind of a homebody and really would prefer to just play close to home. But in the past, that guy has been going off different places because, frankly, these bigger schools are offering him stuff, and the home school that might be a smaller school didn't have a whole lot to compete. Can now say to that guy, hey, look, if this is really where you want to be, okay, we can take care of you. There's a way somebody will take care of you. You know what I mean? That can happen.
And I see that, Matt. I see local, state, local. I'm not going to call any names because I don't want to accuse anybody. It's just like, Alabama. I'm not making any accusations against Alabama, but, I do think that they've cleaned up their act since Saban's been there. I think they've got people that are not in the loop that handle all that kind of stuff. And I'm not saying Ohio State is not guilty. I'm not laying accusations. But the thing is, if I'm a player and I can make, really good money, I don't have to go to those schools anymore. I can stay close to the home. And the thing is, what happens at your big schools when you got 10 or, I saw the 85 Bears, and the thing that broke up the 85 Bears, and this was pro, is because the deals they were getting on TV. Some of the players were getting deals, some of them were not. So let's say 15 of Ohio State's players are getting big-time deals, and then
the other 30 that are contributing a lot on every Saturday get those deals.
Yeah.
You open up a lot of chemistry issues. I think people that think name, image, and likeness is just going to be everybody gets money hadn't really thought this out. But thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thanks, DJ. At least not initially, unless you get down the road somewhere and there's an outside idea. DJ, like what Mike Leach brought up over at SEC Media Days, an idea like if you were to have some break off of all the big schools and go do their own thing outside the NCAA, here's one idea.
The thing is I think we don't want to discourage people from getting degrees. I think it's false that everybody acts like football players don't want degrees. Almost every football player I know definitely wants a degree. It's not just they want degrees. Okay, and so I think you want guys to graduate and get degrees, and then this portal is proven to be fool's gold. Is what's the number? 1,100 are out in the cold right now. They'll be selling big gulps or whatever. Hopefully finishing school somewhere. I hope but certainly would have in a lot of cases probably wish they'd rethought that decision. And so I think that there's got to be an encouragement to stay, at the school you sign with. And what if we were to give $150,000 to the guy comes in, $150,000 when you graduate. When you graduate, you get your scholarship and all that, but you get an additional $150,000 when you graduate. Okay, people are going to be, they're going to graduate. I mean, they're going to be a lot more inclined to graduate. And then the other thing is if you transfer, you don't get the $150,000. You get the $150,000 if you're at the school you signed with. And then I think that, in a positive way, as long as we're talking about distributing money, the guys are inclined to stay at the school, graduate, and not transfer. And I think, and I'm sure, there could definitely be some holes in.
Yeah, there could definitely be some holes in it, but what if it's not the school? What if it's an outside entity? It says, hey, that's my school. Every one of y'all that signs here, if you graduate, I'll have $150,000 waiting on you in an account the day that you walk through and flip your tassel over to the other side. What is to stop anybody from doing that right now? Not the school, but an interested bystander. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right there's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
He's just taller than his hair is.
Nice hair!
It's the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone and worldwide. Online at The Zone,
1059.com. Here we are on the back end of hour number 2. That really just means it's the halfway point of the show. Got a normal 3-hour show going today. So I'll be up with you for another hour and a half. Welcome back. I'm Matt in the Bureau, Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go! With the home team. Look here, Bill, you're going to get a kick out of this. Somebody tweeted Reggie Bush's Heisman Trophy will not be returned in the wake of these name, image, and likeness changes. According to an NCAA spokesperson.
I knew he'd been trying to get it back.
Listen to this quote from an NCAA spokesperson. Previous penalties, including those that are several years old, will not be reevaluated or reconsidered based on the recent changes to name, image, and likeness rules. Now, the best part of this is Peter Burns from ESPN retweeted it, and it says this. National Treasure 3. Nicolas Cage helps Reggie Bush steal back his Heisman.
That's good.
Isn't that great? And
That's the Book of Treasures 3.
Exactly. And he even tagged Netflix and Amazon on there. I love the National Treasure movies.
Oh, yeah.
They're great. I don't think they are great movies. They are historical. They are intense in spots. They're educational. They're entertaining. Okay? They're funny. And I don't think there's a single curse word in either one of them. Not one. So make me a National Treasure 3. Where's Nicolas Cage these days? He still have some hair?
Not much.
Not much. Okay. Well, it's that time. We are 38 days away from Saturday, September the 4th, the first big full kickoff to college football, that first big full Saturday. And it is time for the countdown of 100 teams in 100 days.
It's the final countdown.
100 teams, 100 days.
I like it. We forgot we had that button. That's just full disclosure there. I didn't have it because I messed my button up. Bill found it.
I found that button.
I like that music too, man. It gives me a football mood. All right, so team number 38 on the countdown is... Okay, this is a live performance on campus of the BYU fight song performed by the BYU band, as one might expect. This season, BYU will open in 38 days. On September the 4th, they're going to host Arizona. The following week, they host Utah. Week 3, they host Arizona State. And at the end of September, they host South Florida. They have 4 home games in September to start their season. Here we go. Then in October for BYU, they're going to travel to Utah State, kind of a rival. They'll come back, host Boise. Then they'll travel to Baylor on October 16th. Following week, they go to Washington State, and they finish out October by hosting Virginia. Now, the thing about that, so again, you look at it, 5 games in October for them. And 3 of them are on the road, as you would expect. So 3 on the road. And then in November for BYU, they will host Idaho State, go to Georgia Southern, and then finish the year at USC the weekend of Thanksgiving. That's an 11-1 BYU team. Last year was a COVID year. It was a little different. Of course, Zach Wilson, number 2 pick overall. He's now the Jets quarterback. And he was outstanding last year. But, you know, and it's interesting kind of how their season went at BYU. They're 11-1. They had the blowout win at the beginning of last year over Navy. You watched that particular game, and it was clear. Ken Niumatalolo, the head coach at Navy, said, well, because of COVID, we didn't do any blocking or tackling in practice. And you were like, what'd he say? He's going to play a game. Didn't block or tackle in practice? Yeah, that's what he said. And you're like, well, he's got no chance. Guess what? Had no chance. BYU beat them 55-3. Navy looked like they'd never seen a football before. So BYU wins it. Army game gets zapped, COVID. They blew out Troy. They blew out La Tech. Beat Texas San Antonio by 7 points, 27-20. They blew out Houston, blew out Texas State. And we're talking scoring 40 and 50 points on everybody here. They blew out Western Kentucky. They rolled Boise in November. They went to Boise last year, and Boise was a top 25 team at the time, and BYU beat them 51-17. Put up 66 on University of North Alabama. And then the first weekend of December is when they went and played Coastal Carolina. Remember, Coastal Carolina is ranked in the top 20? And Coastal Carolina beat BYU 22-17. It was a big deal. And BYU finished with wins over San Diego State. And they beat UCF in the Boca Raton Bowl 49-23. So that's a little bit of a look at last year, this year for BYU. Famous BYU alums. Bill, what do we need to know?
Famous ones.
Famous ones, like sure enough famous.
Yeah, Steve Young.
Okay.
Pretty famous.
All right.
Yeah. Jim McMahon.
Right.
He's pretty famous.
Did the Super Bowl shuffle.
Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wally Joyner, baseball player. Remember, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Detmer.
Heisman.
Some guy from the Saints named Taysom Hill. I don't know who that would be, but go Saints. Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah.
Sarkisian, whatever.
Sarkisian, yeah.
Sarkisian, that's it, yeah. And Jamal Williams plays for Detroit. And then we have a couple of people here. Ken Jennings.
Okay, Ken Jennings, the Jeopardy guy.
Jeopardy guy, who's now like host of all kinds of shows.
Uh-huh.
And probably one that everybody's going to know is John Heater.
Okay.
Napoleon Dynamite, baby.
Oh, really? Is that right?
That's him, John
That's
Heater.
fantastic. Napoleon.
Napoleon
Tina,
Dynamite.
eat the food.
Eat the food.
Napoleon, give me some of your tots. And he zipped them up in his cargo shorts. Remember that?
Yeah. Man.
He'd saved himself some tater tots for later.
Might have a little fuzz on him.
Yeah, that's right. A little pocket fuzz.
Fuzzy.
Tater tots, pocket fuzz.
Those expressions that he had all through that movie. I don't think he changed his expression much. His face pretty much looked the same all the way through.
It really did. I love that movie. Okay, so you mentioned the Jeopardy guy. You know who
Ken Jennings, yeah.
Ken Jennings. And I mentioned this to Anna Beth because I saw it on Facebook or something over the last couple of days. Right now, the guest host for Jeopardy is LeVar Burton.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. He's a good one.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
The Reading Rainbow guy.
Yeah, he's been on there for a long
Take
time.
a look. It's in our book.
It's in a book.
Reading Rainbow. Look, y'all. There's some people that literally just that second turned their radio. Literally just then turned it off or turned the channel because I did that. And I understand. I get
just
it.
remember it was Geordie on Star Trek.
Right. That's okay. He didn't just do Reading Rainbow.
No, he's also a big time director now too. So.
I've had a few of these things that when I was a kid, I didn't sit around just like appointment viewing, watching Reading Rainbow. But I thought it was pretty neat. It'd come on, I'd watch it. Or like some movie that I liked when I was a kid, like Never Ending Story. Some of this stuff. And I've tried to introduce some of that to Mary Liddy. She doesn't like any of it. It does not hold her attention.
Yeah, I want them to bring back, I'm just a bill. I'm only a bill.
I don't remember that one.
On the Saturday morning cartoons when the bill was sitting on the steps of Congress.
Oh, yeah. I'm just a
and then
bill.
They had Confunction Junction.
Yes. I'd forgotten about that.
Those things taught you a whole lot about how a bill was passed.
Kids now will not watch that stuff. I tried to get Mary Liddy in on Never Ending Story. Nah, move on. One time I thought, you're going to really like this. She loves reading. She reads. I'm like, you're really going to like this. We're called Reading Rainbow. It's this, that. I show it to her. About 2 minutes into it, she's like, So it just didn't stick. Who is going to be BYU's quarterback this year replacing Zach Wilson? The backup. Now, I don't know if there's any relation to Mitt, but Bill, the backup quarterback at BYU last year was a kid named Baylor Romney. 68%.
Baylor Romney. Got to be one of Mitt Romney's people.
Got to be. Romney?
Probably one of his grandkids.
69% completion, touchdown, and one pick. I don't know if he's going to be their quarterback this year or not. We'll see.
Of course, Mitt Romney went to school there too, but I didn't mention him. I try to stay out of politics.
Yeah, me too. That'll wrap it up for hour number 2. If you leave us, have a good night. If not, stick around. Hour 3 coming your way.
Another load of smart pills has been distributed, and I'm slap worn out. So I'll just say, so long, neighbors. Get me out of here, Percy.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase,
And at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's Virtual Tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O Instant Pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O Instant Pudding.
One of my favorite philosophies goes like this. Yard by yard, life is hard. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. For many of us, life can appear to be hard. Taking regular, daily, small steps to deal with our problems leads us towards our ultimate goals. Remember, yard by yard, life is hard. Inch by inch, life's a cinch. To learn more, check us out.
This is WRKS Pickens Jackson. Live
in the studio.
Live and local. This is the Matt Wyatt Show. Talking about sports from around the world and right here at home. Streaming to you at the Zone, 1059.com, and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
Back with you. Here we go. Thanks for tuning in. Hour 3 of the show, live with you on this Wednesday. I appreciate you tuning in. You can be a part of it. Hope you will be. Hour 3 presented by Overstreet Properties in Starkville, Stark Vegas, however you want to say it. That's where you go. Anything residential in and around Starkville, start there. Tell Kane Overstreet I said, hey, and he'll get you started. Overstreetproperties.com. You can find contact info right there. Now, the casserole hour, who knows what's going to go. I was talking some food earlier, and Scott texted me on the Country Pleasing text line. He said, where do you get this food that you're talking about? I just ate lunch and I'm hungry again. Scott's a big old boy. Scott, what I was talking about is they put it on Facebook. Country Meat Packers in Florence. In fact, you know, if y'all are like me and you like Country Pleasing sausage, you like steak, all kinds of meat thrown on a grill and other goodies and things, you need to check out their Facebook page, maybe like it. So that's what I've done. I like their Facebook page. So when they have a sale or something, it'll pop up. I'll be scrolling through Facebook and I'll see it. They're just Country Meat Packers on Facebook. And you see the logo there, the Country Pleasing logo with the red hog on it. But it's on Highway 49 in Florence, Scott. And what they posted today was chicken breast stuffed with crab meat dressing, and they have chicken breast stuffed with 4 cheese and bacon. And they're selling it, they're having a sale on it. It's usually $7.99 a pound. You can get it for $5.99 a pound right now. 25% discount. That ain't bad at all. If I was there, I'd walk right in there and grab some of it. But what I was that's what the sale was, but we were talking about some of the other stuff that we had. Bill tried some pork chop stuffed with crab meat. My brother-in-law tried chicken breast stuffed with macaroni and cheese, a special mac and cheese. I had a pork tenderloin that was stuffed with that macaroni and cheese, and it's a different kind of mac and cheese. And then I had a pork chop stuffed with sausage. Okay. Yeah. Go try it. You'll be going back down there. You go once, you'll be going back down there. We had a Yugo reference in hour number 2, the Yugo, the old car. Did you see what B-Dog texted us?
Yeah, I saw that.
He said, I think the U.S. bombed the Yugo plane into oblivion during the Kosovo conflict.
Yeah, but they probably survived the cars. Little tough things.
Yeah.
Ugly and tough.
Yeah. If you're going to be that ugly, you better be tough.
There you
go. The version I heard sometimes growing up, my dad would say, if you're going to be stupid, you better be tough. That is a lot of truth in that. You're talking about the lawnmower. Somebody texted and said, I can remember when Hyundai first came out, a dealership in New Orleans offered a deal. Buy a Hyundai, get a Hyundai free. Hyundai also made personal computers, and that was the free one. Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what you got free was the computer.
Is that, he says that was around 1987 or so, but back then you could call it a personal computer, but I mean the computers were humongous.
Yeah.
The computers in 1987 wouldn't fit in the back seat of a Hyundai. Barely. Maybe slightly exaggerating, but you get the point. They're bigger. Now, and then I'm coming to the phone. I was reading the Ed Ogeron comments. Ed Ogeron, if y'all are just tuning in, coach at LSU, was talking today to the Baton Rouge Rotary Club. Came right out and said it. Everybody's quoting him on it. Just came right out and said, hey, heck yeah, y'all want to pay these guys? We're paying them now. Go ahead. The more the merrier. He said, we need to do it. Other schools are doing it and bragging about it. He's probably talking about Alabama. The other quote in there was somebody had given Ogeron a question about what if you did an internship at a business and the internship was for football players and you work in a name, image, and likeness thing there. And Ogeron was like, absolutely, do it. We would hope you would do it. It is crazy how just brazen the whole thing is now. But really, if we throw a little realism into this, there aren't too many players that are going to get lots of money. It's only a handful, one on each team, one here, one there, that are going to get this, at least the name, image, and likeness type of money. Because above board, well-functioning businesses are not going to just throw their money, in marketing budgets at ball players just because they can. There's got to be some plan or form of a marketing plan to get a return on that investment. So I don't know that it's going to be as willy-nilly as some people make it out to be. True Maroon was texting and he said, I'm hoping these players look at all this stuff more than just money. Yeah, that school can pay you good, but they can help you. But can they help you develop to where you can play at the next level? I would rather have money after college than in college if it means I've developed into an NFL player. Yeah, but think about 18 years old. Everybody's different. There are some younger guys that, they get a little more mature perspective on all kinds of stuff at an earlier age than others. Some guys don't grow up until we get in our 40s or even start to grow up, We're all a little different in that way. Okay, Lynn on line 1 of the Davini phone. Lynn, thanks for calling. What's up?
Well, it's funny you said that, Matt. I'm one of them guys that didn't grow up till he hit his 40s. But
I'm there. You couldn't see me. I'm on a live stream, but I raised my hand. I went ahead and raised it.
I'm definitely one of them. But Matt, you're a big Braves fan, so I'm gonna change the conversation for a second.
All right.
And I was watching the Mets and the Braves last night. I'm a big Mets fan, and for some reason on my baseball package they got from DirecTV, I had to watch the Braves broadcast because the Mets was blacked out. And I just want to say, Matt, the Braves announcers are about as obnoxious and awful as Alabama announcers. It is terrible. It is gosh awful. You should thank your lucky stars. You don't have to listen to those guys.
It's definitely a homer broadcast. The Braves have always been that way, really, since it went to the regional network stuff.
Man, it's bad. I mean, I thought the Mets with Darling and Hernandez were somewhat homers, but they're professional like you are when you do a game. They really are. And I'm not just being a Mets fan here. I'm being honest. That was bad, man. I mean, I got mad that it was so bad.
I wonder who it is. Hey, and you know what I said yesterday, Lynn? I have actually had this thought. Because of the whole blacked out thing. So I'm in Mississippi and the Braves games are blacked out to me. I can't watch them. And I've tried the VPN thing and it just makes me mad and all that. I have considered latching on, just for the sake of having a team to watch that's out of market, latching on to one. I've thought about, I'm going to follow the Red Sox this year. They got Renfroe and they're in first place. I'll just follow them because I can watch all their games. And then I thought, I might watch the Cardinals because they're only 5 hours away. I could drive up there and watch them play, but I can't really bring myself to do it. I'm really perturbed at this whole television thing that the commissioner, Manfred, has led Major League Baseball into. And I tell you, man, I don't think he's got his act together.
I agree with you there, and you couldn't be more right on that. But I'm going to pitch you again, Matt. Why don't you just jump on and latch on to the Braves? the Mets. We're drafting Bulldogs like they're going out of town.
You really are.
And good ownership now. We got rid of that loser bunch of the Wilpons. Yeah. And we've got Jordan, we've got Mangum, we've got Gordon, we've got Ginn. I think we've got Ginn.
You do? Yes.
Forget about that. I thought so. And we're up and coming, and we're a first place team right now. We got a tough schedule going on, and I would lose that team with a big A on it in Atlanta that acts like they're Alabama of college football, I would distance myself from them if I was you. You're a great person and a great state quarterback, and I love you too much for you to be with them folks. And we got to get Joel off that front too.
Well,
but you know,
hey, well, but it's like you don't have to chew on me too hard about it because, like I said, I'm sort of already mad that they've got me in this position. The fact that I'm sitting in Tupelo, Mississippi, and I can't watch, I'm blacked out. Are you kidding me? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Hey, and speaking of drafting, you're right now. And look, I'll be honest with you, it's purely Homer right here. If Jake Mangum starts getting at bats for the New York Mets, I'll be watching every game. It's kind of like I did with the Cowboys. I have basically become a Cowboys fan. I keep up with everything that goes on with them, watch every single snap ever since Dak became the quarterback, so it's purely a Homer thing. But I was going to tell you this, and you may know, Lynn, the Mets and Kumar Rocker are having issues after they drafted him. Did you see that?
I've seen that. And if he's got elbow problems, I say we send him back to Vanderbilt, and State can handle him. I ain't worried about it there. And we'll just get that pick for next year, and we'll get us somebody that can throw 500 innings in a season and get us a good one. Because I don't need nobody wore out in his rookie year.
Yeah,
and that's what he is right now, I think.
Well, and
that is an issue, and they got till what, Sunday?
I think Sunday. Let's see. I was trying to find the article here that I'd read earlier. Concern about first-round pick Kumar Rocker's pitching elbow after a physical examination, and leaving a deal with the star Vanderbilt pitcher in jeopardy. Okay. They had initially agreed to sign him for $6 million signing bonus, but now that looks like it's off. And yes, okay, it's in trouble days before the Sunday deadline to sign draft picks. So it is Sunday as the deadline.
Man, I hate that for Rocker, I do. But as a Mets fan and from that perspective, you've got to be sure, and they've had the best doctors look at that. Yeah. And let's be honest. We know how hard that kid's been.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely we do.
I mean, but Bednar outpitched him on short rest. But Bednar didn't have the stress on him he'd had that Rockers had.
No question. I mean, Bednar didn't even pitch the opening weekend of the season.
No, he didn't because of neck stiffness.
Right. And and they kept his pitch count down, and then they ramped him up at the right time of the year, but I don't know that Bednar had any really extended outings until very late in the year, whereas you look at Kumar Rocker, the very first SEC weekend. The very first SEC weekend they hosted South Carolina, and he goes out there and threw like 125 pitches or something. It's crazy.
Threw 100 pitches all season long. And I tell you what, and I know they will, but if that ain't a recruiting pitch for Mississippi State right there, I don't know what is.
I agree.
And here's a good example. This is a great example for them. Corbin has cost this kid a lot of money.
Yeah. Hard to argue it right now. Yeah, hard to argue it. Thanks, Lynn. Hey, it's always good to hear from you. Go Mets. See, I can say it. Now, and that may be the answer right there. Somebody told me to latch on to the Brewers. Brewers are in first place, aren't they? And the ace is Woodruff from right up the road, little old Wheeler High School, went to Mississippi State. All right, here's what it says. Kumar Rocker's camp has downplayed the concerns of his elbow, presumably with the intention of preserving the original agreed-upon signing bonus. If the Mets and Rocker don't agree on a figure before Sunday evening, Rocker can choose to return to Vanderbilt for his senior season and enter the 2022 MLB draft. Rocker has been considered one of baseball's top amateur prospects over his last 2 seasons at Vandy, but he fell to the Mets at 10th overall in this year's draft. Rumors of damage to Rocker's pitching elbow have circulated, but no reported injury reached the Mets before the draft. So they drafted him. They agree on a $6 million deal. They have a physical examination and are like, whoa, hold on just a minute. That is tough right there. So, there's all kinds, for me, there's all kinds of questions. Like, what is the damage? What is it? Okay, if you're telling me a guy's got, his pitching elbow's got some issue that's going to keep him from being able to reach a deal with the Mets who drafted him 10th overall, and you go, well, he can go back to Vanderbilt. Well, what's he going to do? He's going to go back to Vanderbilt and what? Rehab? Going to go back to Vanderbilt and what? Have, Tommy John surgery? When he goes back to Vanderbilt, I just, you hate it for him because he is some more of a warrior competitor. State got to him, ran him off the mound in that championship game a month ago. But he came off the mound, walking in the dugout, screaming and hollering at teammates and telling them to get going and all this stuff. He's a heck of a competitor now. No question about it. You hate it for him. You really do. But look, you just have to just point out the fact, okay? And the fact is, all year long, baseball people, some really smart people were pointing to that going, and even those of us just fans of baseball, we're pointing to it going, why is he throwing so many pitches? Especially, in this game and that game, in this early SEC series when you don't have to. Why is he doing that? And we're all questioning it, and now here he sits. But those things happen. It wouldn't be the first if that happens to him. Unnamed texter said, now this is Alden. He says, Matt, you hear that noise? He says, those Longhorns are mooing and the Sooners are booming. But if you ain't a dog, you're dog food. See you in Starkville soon, Alden. Thanks for the text. Flowtown Ghost telling me about Country Pleasin' sausage. It reminded me that Walmart, Sam's, and Kroger has their stuff too. Yeah, where I live, Ghost, we do our grocery shopping usually at Kroger, and I'd get several different flavors in there. My local Walmart has a bunch more flavors of Country Pleasin', actually. It does. So I've been going there and getting some. It's been a long time since I went in Walmart for anything. And I had to go in there once recently and realize they had all these different flavors of Country Pleasin'. And so I started going in there pretty regularly just for that. Got the encouragement there to latch on to the Brewers. At this point, it's about to be August. We're going to be in the home stretch. I don't know about latching on to anybody. It's probably just time to watch some good teams play and get ready. I'll plug in and watch them, during the postseason. It's just, it's hard. I don't know how else to describe it other than it's sort of a punch in the gut. Okay, to grow up watching the Braves, you've always been able to get them. And now they narrow down your choice, try to force you into paying lots more money in order to be able to see them than making them available. And then I go through the effort to actually go to the MLB website and subscribe and pay the money. And I'm blacked out in Mississippi. I'm in Mississippi and I can't watch a Braves game. And even I pay it's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. The worst leadership of any major organizations out there are MLB and NCAA. NCAA is number one. That leadership is just non-existent. It doesn't even exist. It's just like David Shaw from Stanford at the Pac-12 media stuff yesterday going, we didn't even really agree to a 12-team playoff. They didn't even talk to us. And it's all going to get put on hold now with this expansion ramping up. It is. The 12-team playoff is going to get put on hold. But can you imagine being the head coach at Stanford, longtime head coach at Stanford? You're in the Power Five and having zero input whatsoever on whether or not you ought to go to a 12-team playoff. None. It just shows you remember I told y'all this, one of the telltale signs of horrible leadership is a lack of communication, either ignoring the need for communication or just being really bad at it, one or the other. That's one of the signs of bad, poor, ineffective, in over your head leadership, is either poor or non-existent communication. Well, the leadership at the NCAA is non-existent. So therefore, there ain't no communication either. It just sort of makes sense. True Maroon says, did you see that Leiter signed for $7.9 million? Yeah, he's a little bit younger, right? What is he, 1 or 2 years younger than Rocker? See, I would think that's a big part of it too. It's the ages there of those guys. All right, Pookie on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN or 885-3776. Pookie says, I've always been a Braves fan. Blackout sucks. I've watched more Red Sox baseball this summer than ever. Hunter Renfroe has been in the middle of every big game they've had this year. Been fun to watch. See, that was my thing, Pookie, is like, okay, I thought about this last month and I just didn't get around to it. But, okay, if I pick a team, just kind of latch onto them, somebody that I can watch their games, you know, a player or two I'm familiar with, something I think's cool, I'd go American League. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily pick another team. I kind of like the Cardinals, but it's hard to latch on to them too. It's hard to make yourself do it. And what are they, 5 games back, 6 games back? Here we are in July. But the Red Sox leading that division, they got Renfroe. I thought that makes sense in American League. And then I just, I haven't done it. But see, this conversation we're having, Pookie, I mean, think about the scenario, the situation the leadership at Major League Baseball would have to put it in order for people like me and you to be even talking about this. We shouldn't even be here. And the leadership of Major League Baseball is the biggest disaster that sport has experienced in my lifetime. It's horrible. I just gloss over it. All right, y'all stick around.
Purchasing a home can be one of the greatest.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Zone and online at thezone1059.com.
All set. All set. Moving ahead here. Hour number 3. Had to look at the clock. Lost track of time. Got about a half hour left with you. So got a ways to go here on the show. What do we have? Let's see. The country pleasing text. Country pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Jackson Mailman says, since Major League Baseball got woke and moved the All-Star game, I refuse to turn on any game. I pull for the Bulldog family of players, but will not watch or support MLB. What did they say? Woke? He said they got woke. True Maroon says, this year's Red Sox team is very similar to this year's state team. Very fun to watch. Okay. You putting a sale on me. Louvier said, we all love those players now that they have left Vanderbilt. As Christians, we wish them nothing but the best, but we still hate the Whistler. No, gone. It's intrusive. It's intrusive. I mean, one of the best things, it's funny how we kind of wind up on that subject today some, Olivier, because we're the 1 month anniversary. Okay, so it's July 28th. Well, June 28th was the Monday of the 3-game series, the first game of the 3-game series between State and Vandy. It was the first day that I did my show in Omaha for the championship series over there. And, looking back on that, even on that first night, it was a great State crowd, but it's going to at least the Tuesday night. And just based on conversations and talking to people and looking at the numbers and looking at the crowd, it looked to me like, you had majority State fans there for that Monday night game, but Leiter was on the mound and fresh, and he mowed you down, and Vandy jumped out to the early lead, and State's crowd never really had a chance to really roar in that first game. And even so, Vanderbilt only had maybe 1,000 or 1,500 fans there, I would say. Most of them would seem like family members or the like, but not all, certainly. And they were sitting in one area. And they made a pretty good amount of noise for a crowd that small, pulling for them that first night. And they had all the reason to. But then, boy, you got into that second night on that Tuesday. You could tell that there were a lot of fans there. From State's perspective, it was elimination if you don't win. So, you have to win. So there's this ramped up just energy among the State fans. And I think a lot of them missed the Monday game, but were there for Tuesday's game because it was more full. And it was like everybody there knew we're fixing to go win now. And it was just incredible. And so starting on that Tuesday night, Louvier, you couldn't hear the Whistler that much. Because you had 2 blowouts on Tuesday and Wednesday in games 2 and 3. And so he didn't have as many opportunities. And when he did, the State fans would drown him out. And you basically learn that the only way to zip that guy's lip is you got to beat him by about 9 or 10 runs. Anyway, that's the way it looked. Chris is back on the phone line. Chris on line 1 of the Davini phone. What's up, Chris?
Hey, man, I was just going to say, you talking about MLB. First thing is, I'm going to say this. If Rocker doesn't come off of a deal and sign a deal with the Mets, he's going to be off as Rocker.
You mean take less money?
That's right, because if all he has to do is turn and look at Jake Mangum and see what Jake Mangum meant to the NCAA and meant to the Mississippi State Bulldogs and look at what he got, that's exactly what he's looking at if he goes back to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, he's got to go
No matter
now.
how good he is, he better go now. I mean, he's probably got a red shirt because I remember him pitching as a true freshman.
I wonder, that's the thing. We don't have the details on, not in what I've read. We've got the detail that initially they were going to agree to a $6 million deal, a $6 million bonus, but now that deal is on hold. And so if it's on hold, I'm just wondering, okay, are they offering him less money, or are they saying, we're not sure we want to sign you at all? I mean, I just wonder which route it is. Surely they want to sign him.
You would think with the way that Tommy John is. I mean, look at what JT Ginn got. He got 2.4 and had a bad arm. So I mean, you would think that they would still want to sign him. They just don't want to sign him for that much.
Right.
But the other thing that you're talking about, it has been publicized by all the writers, and I listen to all the Braves podcasts. No, I can't watch Braves games. And yes, I've been a Braves fan all my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I listen to all the Braves podcasts, and every one of them says that Rob Manfred wants to be, he's an NBA guy, and he wants the NBA job, and he really doesn't even like baseball.
That's pretty obvious.
Take some solemn fact in this. Guess what? You're already used to not watching it, so when they have a play stoppage next year, it's not going to bother you anyway.
That's a good point.
Because they're going right into it. They're not even there's no budging on either side. And I heard the other day, now whether this is true or not, some of the players are saying, hey, you got to get us back on TV because people don't even know who we are.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I think that's a part of the players' deal that'll help you pick a side. I mean, with billionaires fight billionaires, but still, I mean.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt. That's the thing. It's not really going to hurt you.
Right.
Because you can't watch your favorite team anyway.
And it is unbelievable that he is in a position that he's in. And they, ownership and others, have made decisions they've made and are in position they're in, this TV deal, when they've had 10 years leading up to this to see it coming, Chris.
Yeah. Well, you know what held it up last year, right? You know, they could have signed a deal, and the players were coming to the table and going to sign a deal. And then when he took the DH out for the National League this year, the players just threw their hands up and said he wants to be stupid and walked away from the table.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's the worst leadership. You can't do a worse job. Just all
you're not lying about that.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks,
right,
Chris.
Man.
Thanks,
Have a
man.
good day.
Yeah, you too. You too. Let's get over here in the memory lane. I would like to apologize for the constant clearing of my throat today. I feel fine. Just a little hoarse or whatever. Over here in memory lane, we are in the 1970s, but just barely. 1979 on this day on American Bandstand, someone named Maxine Nightingale performed not Lean on Me, no, Lead Me On. Here it is.
I have often heard you say you love me as a friend, but I love you more than anyone.
Okay, Bill, were you previously familiar with this song?
Oh, yes.
You
Played
were?
it many times. Yeah.
So it was a big deal. It was a big hit.
Maxine Nightingale, she's the one that did that Right Back Where We Started From, that big song from the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, same girl. This was her second hit.
All right. Tell me how you really feel, Maxine.
You're just leading me on, aren't you?
Well, okay.
It's a good song. It is
a very good song. It's a very good song.
Very, very well produced.
You know,
but that Right Back Where We Started From, if I heard that song one time, I heard it a million.
Yeah.
Back in the 70s.
Yeah. Stuff in the 70s. Boy, it was a huge spectrum mix, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Phil Spector had a lot to do with that production of songs when he did his songs. And he was very much into big sound, the big sound of Phil Spector.
you know, one that was from way back, I didn't send you this one, but another one on there was 1960 Dee Clark.
Yeah.
You're Looking Good. Dee Clark. See, that's like ringing a bell, but I can't place it in my head somehow. Anyway. Yeah, okay, so Maxine Nightingale. I'm learning something every day. Some things from the 70s I wasn't familiar with. Song in 1979 was on or was on Bandstand with that song in 79. So you're talking about late 70s. Kind of had a mid-70s sound to it. It's good. That's good. There's your trip down memory lane for today.
Yeah, I was going to find the one that was her really big hit. I think I found that for you.
Okay, you got it.
Just 1 second.
And what was the name of that again? You told me the title.
Right Back Where We Started From?
Yeah, Right Back Where We Started.
You'll recognize it when I ever get it to come up here.
Okay. While you look at that, I'm going to read.
Here it comes.
Okay, here it is.
Well, wait a minute. You go ahead and read something.
Okay, I got an unnamed texter here that said that Rocker would still have leverage if he came back because he's classified as a sophomore in eligibility. Okay. Yeah.
Here it is.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Started from. I remember that one for sure. So that's Maxine Nightingale.
Yes, it is.
See, I can put a name and a face and everything with it now. All right.
That song played 1,100 times a day.
No doubt about it. I'm sure. I'm sure. You became very familiar with it. Yes, Dog Tired, we got that note, and we'll bring that up when we come back next. It's a ZZ Top sad note. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding. Whether you cook it over a fire or in the house, cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor, you see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me.
Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
Sports talk. I'm talking way back. It's the Matt Wyatt Show on 105.9 The Zone.
Okay, back with you. All set to wrap it up. A few minutes left with you here on the show. I'm Matt in the Bureau, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau. Real unnamed texter says, regarding eligibility, Rocker was a sophomore this year because last year didn't count. He has 2 years remaining, including a red shirt. Okay, well, I get it then. Then he can come back, still have some leverage. I guess so. It's just that, still, it's like you know when you're draft eligible and we know when you're trying to get out. And so he's been in school for 3 years. He's only pitched for 2 full ones because last year doesn't count. But he's been in school for 3 years, so he's draft eligible now. If he goes back for another year, he's draft eligible again. And then you go, okay, well, he'd have another year in a red shirt. Well, everybody, including every major league team, knows, okay, if he goes back, the very last thing he wants to do or Vanderbilt wants to do or his parent wants to do is for him to, go back to Vanderbilt another year. So, yeah, I think y'all are right. He's got the eligibility. You say, okay, the leverage. He does have the eligibility. But there's also a little bit of, realism in it also. If he goes back to Vanderbilt, takes care of whatever elbow issue he has, and pitches there again next year, he's 3 years on the field at that point, 4 years in school because 2020 got lost. And you go, well, he still got leverage. Well, does he? Because anybody is going to know this time next year, he ain't going back to Vanderbilt again. So it's weird how that whole leverage thing works. I think. Olivier texted and said, Maxine Nightingale, this is why we all love your show, Matt Wyatt. Go Saints, Hail State, And he says, and now go Jackson Academy Raiders. Olivier's a J.A. Raider. How about that? And just side note, I started the show today. We had the news that, and the release went out that MRA is going to play on national television this year on Saturday, August the 28th on ESPN2. Live national broadcast. MRA is going to host a school from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Is it Oakville? Or isn't that what it is? Oakville? Oakwood?
The team is Oakwood. Oakland.
Oakland.
Oakland High School.
It ain't Oakville or Oakwood. It's Oakland. Oakland High School. And so Oakland will visit MRA August 28th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, national broadcast ESPN2. Now, that's not the first game of the year for MRA. They will play before that. Okay, Dog Tired in Florence was letting Bill know, and Bill had let me know this earlier. Some sad news for ZZ Top. Bill, you have those details?
Well, yeah, Dusty Hill, the bass player for ZZ Top, passed away in his sleep overnight.
Last night.
Yeah, it looks like they're supposed to play here this Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. I said, well, I thought I saw where they were coming through here, because I think they're coming to Tupelo also.
Yeah, they're supposed to. I think they're supposed to be there. But what I'm hearing is, I don't know what's going on. I haven't got any details, but the guy who's been like their guitar tuner and been with the band for a long time is supposed to be stepping up to play bass.
Okay.
But he passed away in his sleep after he'd gone home after, I guess, part of the tour. He went back to his home in Texas and passed away at his home in Texas.
Okay. Sad to hear that. So here you go. Just a shout out to him and all the ZZ Top fans out there. Not to mention, if you're a Duck Dynasty fan, this will strike a chord with you also. Let it rip! Jake Wimberly rides around listening to this all the time.
Yeah. Like you hear.
Yeah. All right, they're all together now.
Every girl crazy about his shot man.
Yeah. So there you go. ZZ Top bass player Dusty Hill has crossed the river. We hate to hear that. Yeah, Bill, it seems like a lot of the guys who are acts who go to Brandon also come through Tupelo or vice versa.
They do. They do. They make both stops.
Yeah.
Here's another song I always like by them from their Trace Hombres album. This is Waiting on the Bus. Jesus Just Left Chicago.
Been waiting for the bus all day. Have mercy.
And then later on down the road, it transitions into the second part of the song. It's coming up here.
Okay.
And goes on from there, and then it goes into the Jesus Just Left Chicago.
That's ZZ Top. Well, what's the lyrics?
Old Dusty.
What's the lyrics to that other song? Is it every girl's crazy about a sharp?
Yeah, every girl's crazy about a sharp dress. Man.
Yeah. Okay. Did you see what Mike Leach said last night about neckties?
No.
I think it was a clip he was doing an interview, and it was fairly recent. I thought it was sent out. Yeah, it was just a few days ago, and it was a report from WLBT. And basically what he said is, yeah, I want to strangle the guy who invented a necktie. And then Bill...
With a necktie.
Yeah, right. And what he said is he shows like where the tie is, and he says, well, they cinch this thing all the way up. And so it sort of holds the heat in the summer, which is just a funny thought altogether to think about. Yeah, if you were to loosen your tie, then it lets the heat out. It's going to escape right up under your mouth.
Got whooshing sound coming out of there.
Yeah, that whooshing sound. And I saw that. That was on Twitter last night. I retweeted it with my own thoughts because I just feel this way about neckties. Talking about the sharp dressed man. This was my tweet. It's only for appearances, purely show, therefore I don't wear them. They serve no purpose, zero. Back in the day, you'd quote unquote tie it around your neck to hold your shirt up 150 years ago. So I 100% agree with Coach Leach. I mean, I don't know. I can't honestly think of another article of clothing that is mainstream that is more decorative and less practical than a tie.
Functional, yeah.
Maybe the pocket square. And that's another thing I turn my nose up at. You know, pocket square. What do you think you are? I mean, what do you think you are? Might as well put on the earrings. You know, a pocket square. Okay, and you go, well, it's a handkerchief. No, it's not. You're not blowing your nose in that. You paid $25 for it.
Yeah, could you ever fold it back the same way?
No. And it all started with what? Back in the day, men had a handkerchief. Why? To blow their nose, to wipe lipstick
off their collar.
I mean, it served a real purpose. Okay, and they'd stick it in there. It wasn't for looks. It had a purpose. So I just am to a point in my life where I just don't care what it is anymore. There's no reason to wear a tie. You can't convince me of that. I mean, nobody can give you an argument with anything to back it up that makes any sense why in 2021 we are wearing a necktie. Nobody can do anything. It's purely for appearances. That's all. It doesn't serve any purpose. You go, what about a sport coat? All right, well, it's a coat. Okay, first of all. Whereas, a good portion of the year it's kind of cool outside, right? You can cover up. I can understand a coat. A coat has pockets the shirt doesn't have. Okay, I can go with that. I need some pockets. Okay, I get it. But I got news for you. In the hot part of the year, summertime, guess what? I'm not wearing a sport coat. Period. Well, Matt, certain jobs need a suit. Guess what? Get a different job.
It's sort of like the hats have all kind of gone away. People used to wear hats all the time.
Fancy hats.
Fancy hats.
See, I got a hat on right now. And people
I'm
are going.
talking about a ball cap. I'm talking about, like
well, anytime this has come
Cowboy
up before
hats.
On the show, anytime this has come up before on the show, somebody inevitably will say, well, Matt, you're inside right now. You got your hat on.
So?
Right, I know. Well, it's two things. One, I'm about to walk out of here in a minute and go outside. I'm going to need the hat to cover me up. But two, it's sort of serving a purpose because it's got my sponsor logo on there.
Yeah.
So I can find a purpose in that. I just can't find a purpose for a necktie. And why is anybody allowed to tell me that I must wear a tie? I mean, I'm serious. It's like Mike Leach goes to a function to speak and they've told him he's got to have a coat and tie. Who is allowed to tell Mike Leach he has to wear that? I don't get some of the stuff in our society. I just don't get it. That's one of the things I don't get. Bill, as always, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, I was going to tell you, Bieber has not been able to find a reason for sleeves.
I can think of one reason. Cover his hairy arms up with. How about that? For Bill, I'm Matt. See y'all tomorrow. See you.